Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426 and today we have another review of the 52Toys Beastbox Radioheadar. Now I can assume why they had to go with Radioheadar because I believe there's like a group called Radiohead, I think at least I've heard of it before. But once again, beyond that, it's definitely an odd name. But once again, this could be one of those cases where they directly translated the Chinese language into English. So maybe that could be the reason. But anyway, once again, I don't think this is the latest one, but it is more of the recent ones as well. So obviously from the image, this is a cube that transforms into a mechanical bat. But once again, this can be considered as a triple changer, I guess if that's what you call it in Transformers terms, because they can turn into a cube, a mechanical bat, and a jet-like thing. So there's this jet thing. So yeah, so this is not in the Beast Drive, this is the Beast Box series, so keep that in mind because it transforms into a cube. And once again, because this is the Beast Box line from 52Toys, you still get the typical pamphlet. So you get the catalogs and all sorts of advertisements as well. So, but they got rid of the PVC card, which is pretty nice because I really never liked those. And once again, you get the card, the trading card or collectible cards here. You have a nice illustration going on here, and then on the back you have like a small description. Now I'm not sure if you can read this, but if you want to, you can pause and read. And then stat-wise, not too bad, not too bad. Well, then again, it is a bat, so defense and strength is going to be a bit low, but speed and intelligence is pretty well done. So you can pause and check the card if you want to do so. But this time the description isn't really about what this guy is. So yeah. Alright, and then you're supposed to get this. Now this, unless you have the dedicated stand that the 52Toys use, or the ones that 52Toys made for this lineup, then you can use this properly. But if you don't have it, it's going to be a little bit tricky to use. I haven't actually tested this, but once again, the best way you can use this is maybe get another Tamashi Nations stand and hope for the peg works, and then you can use it like this. So obviously, if you have a general idea what this is basically to make the hang the bat upside down. So that's what it's for. But once again, if you're not planning to display like that, yeah, you're not really gonna use this. And finally, this time I actually did order this with the bonus part. So with the bonus part, as far as I understood it, you can unlock a fourth mode. So this itself is supposed to be like a small radar vehicle or some sort of a radar. And then you can slap this on. Of course, you do need to do some parts forming. Basically, I believe in the jet mode, you have to detach pretty much all the wings and then slap these on to make it like a radio, not a radio, like a radar vehicle kind of thing. All right. So other than that, let's see what we got. So other than the other extra stuff, you're supposed to get a box charger. But before we go into the main thing, I would like to look at the box charger, because if you looking closely, you can see all these ports here. So because now 52Toys is planning to release a lot of parts forming beast boxes or mega boxes or wonder boxes, whatever they call it these days. So, and then they want to add some more customization, personalized designs here. So they also modified the box charger to have these multiple ports. So if you have an arm or extra weapons, you can use these holes to connect them as well. And so here is the regular one. You can see there are no ports or holes here. So it was just a clean plastic, but now they have all these ports. And despite that, it still maintains its connecting ability with other box chargers. So despite all those ports, it does not affect any of the previous functions. So that's a pretty good thing. So yeah. Just wanted to point that out. Alright, so let me just get rid of the stand and see what we got. Alright, so I'm not going to show the transformation process because it's going to take a long time, and I'm still getting used to this specific one as well, because it is definitely an oddball transformation. So transformation level, I would say it's roughly between middle and hard, because it's just overall you just need to be aware how this works. But once again, this thing also does have clear plastic, which means some parts might be brittle. So for those who don't know, when it comes to plastic, clear plastic seems to be a little bit more brittle compared to regular plastic. So just be aware, and when you're dealing with clear plastic, just be careful. But once again, if it's like a ball joint, then there's a chance that it has easier chances to snap, break, or have a crack. So oh well. So this will transform into a bat, and then from the bat you can go for the jet mode, and then from the jet mode you can detach and use this to become to make it into like a radar tank. So once again, I'll be right back and see what we got from the transformations. Okay, I'm back. So here we have the bat mode of Radioheadar, and then here we have the small radar tank thing. So once again, let's go look at the bat first. So once again, after fiddling around with this, I have suddenly had the realization that there's no proper way to actually display this guy unless you have like the proper equipment slash like set. So once again, I am using a Bandai version of Tom Nation's action base, but once again, the only reason I'm able to use this is because I happen to find this hole here. Now these larger holes, obviously you're going to need to have a larger peg, which I assume is on the 52Toys original stand for these Beastbox line. But once again, I don't think they're actually officially selling those yet, or if they are, most scalpers got them first, so they're going to be selling for a little more pricier than you expected. So yeah, you're gonna have to work your way around this. So just in general, let's talk about articulation here. So being a bat, number one, I'd like to mention that despite having feet, there's no way this thing is standing properly. So because of the wings being so large and big, they're gonna flop down like that. So, and then again, come to think about it, I don't think bats actually walk around. They kind of crawl around the ground, maybe based on videos I've seen. But once again, yeah, these feet are pretty much going to be useless. And also would like to point out the extra part that came with it. Where is it? Okay, there we go. So once again, at first I thought, just looking at the design, I thought you would have to use it like this, but no, actually you have to go like this, which has a perfect fit on the ankle area. Problem is the peg is in front, not back, which apparently if you have the original 52Toys stand there, you can actually configure the stand in an upside down L shape, and then the peg would be on here, so you can actually use it. On this thing, you would have to do like this, and then like, yeah, you're gonna need like another extra joint here just to make this work. So not ideal, but yeah, that's the way how it's supposed to work. So it kind of is, yeah. The more I experience this, the more I regret not getting that stand when I had the chance. Anyway, for articulation, let's start with the head. So the head is on a ball joint, but it's on a very, very tough ball joint. So you can rotate 360, and this is actually kind of required for the transformation here to the cube form. There we go. And then here we have the ears, which they can move around. You can rotate them a little bit. I'm not sure what's going on here, but it feels like they're on something. There's like some sort of spring inside. But once again, you can fold the ears down and then have some sort of face cover. And this is, I assume, is for the vehicle mode. But once again, it also works like a nice mechanical mask. So that's a big bonus. So because of ball joint going up and down, it's no problem. And then you have the neck joint a little bit as well. And then let's get the wings. So you can see in the wings there are middle parts here where it is connected with all clear parts going on here. So once again, the interesting part is that some parts you have to fold and then connect from the back or up to the front to make it have a firm connection. So definitely an odd but interesting transformation here. So each wing, you can actually rotate them 360. Of course, the ears are actually getting in the way. You can technically go 360 if you force it. However, there is a small peg here that is preventing it. But either way, I would. But if you can still rotate in both ways, so I would consider this to be a 360. But just not, you can go on all the way on one direction. And then let's look at the folding point. So there's one folding point here, so you can fold 90-degree front and back as well. And then there's this other point where you can fold again 90 degrees. Front, and then back not so much. And then this end tip, I don't think there's not much to bend here. I mean, there is a slight movement here using both the ball joint and the joint here, but it's not much. Roughly 90 degrees or less than 90. And so backwards 90 degrees, roughly frontwards, yeah, less than 90 degrees. So yeah. And once again, if you're wondering, can you do the bat thing, where he folds his wings up front? Technically, yes, but unlike Gunpla or other examples you would see, there would be like some sort of a middle peg here that would connect these two. There is no such thing. And then you can see there is a bit of an empty space here. So yeah. And once again, if you have a certain SHF Kamen Rider from Ryuki, this would be a perfect combination with that thing as well. But once again, that's that. So yeah, and I assume this is the part you can actually detach if you want to do so. So if you want to go crazy with customs, I guess you could do that as well. And then there's these parts, which there's these golden parts which do pop out here. But once again, I think these are mostly for the transformation for the vehicle. I haven't done it yet, But yeah, because when you transform into the beast mode, these things are not mentioned at all. But once again, if you want to pop them out, it is your freedom to do so as well. And then there are these type of movements where you can slide this thing in and out, but once again, not for the bat mode. And then here we have the legs, very, very stubby little legs, but you do have a ball joint connection, and then you have another bend here. Doesn't bend too much, less than 90 degrees. And then forward, I think it bends a little bit more on forward, but once again, a little bit odd. Chicken leg articulation as well. So yeah, there is no button gimmick where it can flap the wings here, and then you have these parts, which surprisingly, they are detachable, but once again, these things do not actually affect the transformation apparently, so definitely odd. And if you look closely, these are actually smaller bats, you know, wrapped up in their own wings, so that's a small interesting detail, although I'm not sure what these are supposed to be as well. I'm assuming maybe small blasters. I'm talking about in perspective for the bat, not for the vehicle, so yeah. Yeah, and then you can see definitely all these ports. You can see all these ports. So if you have like small missile parts, I assume you can like slap your missiles all over the place, and then, you know, make more firepower on this guy. All right, so that is pretty much it for the bat. So once again, before we go into the gem mode, let's look at this small bonus part. So because this is also another small bonus part that will unlock the fourth mode. So here we have this. It's a very simple vehicle. So it's basically, you have three parts, and then all you need to do is fold these back together, and you have that flat part that you saw at the beginning. So it's a very simple thing. But yeah, it somehow works, and I do like the small radar dish going on here, because we don't really have many effect parts like this, so pretty cool. And despite being a bonus part, they did a pretty good job on making such things, so well done 52Toys. Alright, so I'll be right back with the gem mode, and then we'll see you off there. And then from the gem mode, I think we can make the fourth mode pretty easily from there as well, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So here we have the final part of the video. So here we have the airplane mode. That's what the manual says, but this is pretty much clearly a jet if you ask me. So once again, here we have the jet mode. So as I mentioned before, some parts forming is required, but so basically you just need to detach the wings and do some funky transformations with the legs, because apparently you need to detach the wings so that you get some extra space, because the part where you have to separate to the two legs and then like fold them one by one on each side separately. So you have to finish one in order to do the other side of the leg, which is why that's required. But once again, after that, you just basically reconnect the wings and you're good to go. So I personally think they were trying to make some sort of their own version of the bat wing. That's just my guess, but they weren't able to get the license. So once again, pretty cool design. I think they did a pretty good job on it as well. Although I do wish the wings were slightly more longer, but that's just me. Alright, so being a vehicle, I don't think there's not much to talk about in terms of articulation here. So although I do wish like these parts there would be some sort of a locking mechanism with each other, because at this moment they're just like there floating around. So maybe a firm connection for the future release, but I am definitely looking forward for these triple changers as well, because back then it would be only from box to their creature form, but now they have a box, creature, and then vehicle form. So kind of curious what other future releases they're going to release from the Beastbox line. Now, I'm not talking about the Beast Drive line, so yeah. Alright, so the only part that's left to show is to now transform this into a radar vehicle using these parts. So once again, as I mentioned before, you have to detach the wings. Now, when you connect the wings, make sure, because there's a peg connection here, round peg, and then there's a square peg connection here, so which is why you can see me that these do not rotate at all. So that's that. So once you have this mode here, all you need to do is detach these parts here. Now, one thing to notice is that these will come with these small pegs. Now, these are for actually connecting with more other stuff. So you have these two pegs all around these. So you should have two of them. Make sure you actually detach them for this mode, because if you just leave it in there, it's not gonna fit, because it's gonna collide with other parts. And make sure you have the yellow arrow pointing forward, and then connect these two like that. It's a simple connection, no big deal. And then I forgot to mention, these things actually have rolling wheels, so you can actually roll them around. Then finally for the radar, you have to bring down the big peg, and then from here you just need to like connect it to this part, and then display it or mount it on your preferred style. So if you want to have the radar a little bit on the back side, you can do that as well. And there we go, we have this radar vehicle thing. I'm not sure what you call it, but once again, it's a nice, you know, bonus part, because it's kind of interesting it's a triple changer, but if you have the bonus parts, you can unlock this mode as well. Although a little bit stretched, but I think it's a pretty fun mode as well. Of course, the downside is that now these would become leftover pieces, so, and you practically lose the access to the bat mode. And that is pretty much it. So once again, this was the review of the 52Toys Beastbox Radioheadar. I think it was a pretty fun product, and I can definitely see that they're improving their quality bit by bit, and they are taking notes where even though they use clear plastics, they are aware, like, on what type of parts not to use clear plastics, such as ball joints. And yeah, it was these extra parts, and I'm definitely looking forward for the future, because back then Beastbox was from cube to creature, but now they have cube, creature, and then vehicle form. So definitely looking forward as well. Anyway, thanks for watching the review. If you guys got any questions or queries, leave a comment below. I will do my best to answer them as much as possible. And then, as usual, I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out. So please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.